Hey y'all, it is Voluptuously Skinny here with post-op week 110 update. I am on my way to another race. I think I told y'all last week we were on our way to Springfield, Missouri. After having run the Jinx 38th half marathon, I went to Springfield, Missouri and ran the Bass Pro Conservation full marathon. And that was tremendously fun. Deanna's with me again, my sidekick. Say what's up, Deanna.
What's up, Dion?
So, anywho, I am doing pretty good as far as my weight is concerned. I am actually down a little bit more, and of course that's from the additional running. So, and just trying to eat a little overall better. I still am eating some things that are not so good for me. Residual from the Halloween parties and candy sales and all that. So still eating a bit of that stuff. But overall, I am trying to clean out that part of my diet and eat better things. So as a result, I am going down a little bit in weight. So right now I'm 142.2, I believe, 142.2, 142.4. So I'm a bit below my maintenance weight by about 3 pounds, about 2.5 pounds or so. So I am not really expecting for that to come up until probably the next 2 or 3 weeks after I finish the next. I've got, including tomorrow, I have 3 races that are coming up in the next this weekend and next weekend, and then after that I have 2 more that will finish off the year: the Turkey Trot day after Thanksgiving, and then the Rudolph Run, which is December 16th. It's the day after my daddy's birthday and on my friend Vicky's birthday. So we'll do that. So my weight is down a little bit, and I'm sure y'all can tell in my face, because I told y'all I get those groove lines across my cheeks when my weight goes down. So I know you'll probably see my picture in the video and think that I'm not purposely trying to go down anymore, but that's just the way it is. And so I may look, I don't know if I look sick to some of you or too thin to some of you or whatever, but that's what it, that's what it is. So I can't help it. I'm already eating a massive amount of food. For the most part, I do. And I can't really eat any more than what I'm eating. And I certainly don't want to eat more junk than what I'm already eating. So I think that I'm going to end up just learning to be on the smaller side, especially once I get to eating a lot better and eliminating the junk. So hopefully everybody else will just get used to it. I mean, because it's going to be okay to me. I feel like I'm still healthy. My doctor is okay. Well, I haven't been since I've been down. Actually, when I went, I was down a couple pounds, but she didn't say anything about it because it was still kind of in that same little range. It wasn't an extreme amount. But if I went soon here, she'd probably say something about that, which I'll probably end up going back, because she said she wanted me to watch my, I was having some tightening issues in this left chest wall, and I'm still having them, which is causing me pain and additional pain. And so I don't know if she'll want me to come back to look at that. I told you she did an EKG, and I don't really think that it's my heart. I don't I feel good on that aspect. I know that it's something to deal with that residual fat necrotic breast tissue. That's what I feel in my heart that it has to deal with. So hopefully they can figure something out, some physical therapy, some massaging, something that can massage that muscle out so that it doesn't keep contracting like it's contracting. So anyway, I'm running, just running, y'all. I don't know what to say about that. That's what I'm doing as far as exercise concerned, and it's definitely keeping my weight down. I'm not having some of the same issues as I'm seeing a few people have as far as gaining anything back. There was one time, I think I told y'all last week, when I came back from homecoming and I stepped on the scale and I was 151, which was up like 5 pounds from like 3 days prior to me going on the trip. But like I said, the very next day when I weighed at the, as you normally would in the morning, I was back down in my range. So I really haven't had any issue as of yet. Like I said, when my running ever stops, I probably will have an issue. Next week, I'm going to yoga. They have something called Holy Yoga. So I'm going to go to yoga and hopefully kind of use that as a means of some relief too, as far as my mood and emotions are concerned. And trying to think of anything else that I'm gonna talk about the running, because y'all know that's really what makes me super happy. That's when I get my most excited. It's something, when I'm talking about the running, it makes me forget about everything else. And when I run, it certainly makes me forget about everything else. When I'm at a race, I just lose myself in that race, and it's almost like I don't even see the crowd. Any other time I'm in a crowd, I'm like losing it, which is crazy. But yeah, when it comes to the running and the races, it's like I don't even see the crowd. And when the last race that I went to, the marathon, there were 2,500 people there, y'all, and I promise y'all, I didn't see that at all. Not at all. But let me tell y'all about the race. The Jinx Half went very well. I think I talked about the Jinx Half, didn't I, Dion? Because that was right when I made this. So let me just talk about the marathon, my first marathon. So I was pretty nervous. We stayed in an Airbnb for the first time, and the Airbnb went actually really well. I definitely enjoyed that staying with those individuals. Dion, how did you think about that? What did you think about the Airbnb?
I like the dog.
Yeah, they had a dog.
No further questions.
And
I plead the fifth.
And he enjoyed the dog, let me tell you. He was upset when we came back so after the race, I'd asked them if we could come back and wash up before we got ready to leave. And a lot of times when you stay in a hotel, you got to check out by 10 or 11 o'clock, and that's it. And so when I've traveled, one other time before for a race, it was such a rush, checking in and checking out and trying to, bathe before I left. And I mean, it was just such a headache. But they allowed us to take our time, come back. We were able to just sit down, chill. I took a long shower, no rushing. Really, truly enjoyed that aspect of the Airbnb. And Dion was actually upset because Gunther was gone. He wasn't there for him to say goodbye, so he really enjoyed that. The next Airbnb that we're going to, she actually has a cat named Berkeley. So even though we don't have animals at our house, we do enjoy animals. Dion's not a real fan of cats. I'm probably more of a fan of cats than I am dogs, and he enjoys dogs more than he enjoys the cats. And then Doc adores anything reptilian, snakes, lizards, any of that weird stuff like that. So we've had a turtle and we've had a lizard, both of them which passed away. The lizard, Lizzie, I kind of didn't take care of her. The air conditioner went out, and I forgot about her and she dried up. And then I'm not sure what happened to the turtle. I think we just kept him.
That was Doc's fault. He didn't know how to take care of a turtle. And
No,
let me do it.
We kept him in too small of a container, I think, the whole time.
Oh, definitely.
Because he never really grew. And turtles really will grow depending upon the tank you put them in. And so he stayed tiny forever. And I even took care of him one summer. I snuck him to work and took care of him at work. And we're not supposed to have reptiles at work. But anyway, let's go back to the race because I am just like running out. The time is gonna go crazy. So, but anyway, I started the race and took off pretty steady. Stayed at a steady pace. I said I was gonna stay at the 4. Initially, I was gonna line up at the 4 hour 10-minute pacers. And what the pacers do is they help you stay on track so that you finish a race at whatever the goal is that you have. Well, my goal was to finish the race before 4 hours, which is, I guess, maybe unheard of when people haven't really trained for a marathon and, who haven't been regular runners, for the most part for quite a while. And y'all know I've only been running a year, and I've only really been running like I'm running now probably for about 6 months. So I decided, no, I'm going to stay with the 4 hour pacers. And I eventually ended up passing the 4 mile pacers up, leaving them behind, and just stayed on a steady pace the whole time. So I was so excited. Did a live video at mile 13, and talked about the advice that Dion had given me the day before. And Dion the day before told me, Mom, your body is used to running the half marathons. And so by the half mark, your body's going to think you're finished. And so you're going to have to go into your brain at that point, and you're going to have to let your brain basically drive the rest of this race. And it was such good advice because at mile 13, I was okay. But at mile 16, I started to feel the fact that I was going to have to really talk myself into continuing that race. So about mile 16, I started to get really tired, started to really talk to myself, and try to get in my head to let myself know, hey, which way? Okay, sorry about that. I had to make sure I was going the right direction. So anyway, about 16, hit that wall and started to really have to talk to myself. So about mile 21, I decided to do another live video. Did the live video and talked about how I was struggling a little bit. And there was one gentleman that from probably about mile 7 or even earlier, I was chasing basically. I called him my Sadie Hawkins boyfriend, and I was like, I got so many miles. I'm gonna chase this man and make sure I catch up with him. He was gonna be my focal point. Well, at one point I lost him, and so I was just like, forget it. I don't know where the man is. I don't know if he was a relay person or if he was just that fast, and he's just probably almost at the finish line. Well, about mile 20, so back up from 21, about mile 20, I hit this corner, and there he is walking. And so I was like, oh my God, you were my boyfriend for the last 13 miles. And he, looked at me at first, and he just started laughing. I was like, can I take a picture? So I ended up taking a picture with him. And I'm gonna try to attach some pictures to this video. So we ended up taking a picture with him, and then continued on. And I was almost regretting that I had stopped to chat with him. And I say stop. I just slowed my pace because, you guys, I never once stopped. I just grabbed my water and my drinks as I was running, never stopped. As I made the video, I ran while I made. So when I slowed down, it was hard to get started back up. So I was continued to race, but it was just, I was struggling a bit. So mile 23 came, and there was a young lady, and I'm assuming it was her mom or something, or like an aunt-like figure or something like that. They stopped and were hydrated and given a cooling towel by a group of supporters. And one of the guys, it looked like a dad and another sister that was standing on the sidelines. So as they were getting started up, and I I try not to ever get on anybody else's pace. I try to stay on my own pace because I know my body and I don't want to get too tired out or go too slow. But that was the one time that I allowed myself to try and get in step with somebody. So as they started off really well. And so I said, I'm going to get in step with them and try to just hang tough. And so for about the first minute or two, I stayed in step with them until I finally was in my rhythm again and was able to pass them up. And I stayed in my rhythm till about 24 miles or so when my foot ended up swelling so bad that it literally felt like the circulation was being cut off in my toes. And I hurt so bad that I was like limping, saying, oh, and I just started praying to God, like, Lord, you brought me this far. You know, I know that you wouldn't bring me to mile 23, 24, only to leave me. And I said, help my feet take this pain away. And the pain went away, and I was able to, although I slowed down a little bit in mile 25, I picked it up again. And once I got to 26, which was a struggle because by then my GPS on my phone was off too, so it was announcing the miles about a quarter of a mile too quickly before the mile marker, which is like very mental for a runner, especially running that long of a distance. So not being at 26 but having it announced 26 was kind of like, oh my God. So anyway, by the time I got to mile 26, I knew that I had 0.2 miles left to go. And they, at that point, were turning corner to corner to corner. And after every corner that we turned, and when I didn't see that finish line, I could feel myself getting extremely emotional. So I knew that by the time I saw that finish line, I was probably going to lose it. And sure enough, by the time I saw that finish line, my face started to squinch up, and I was so emotional. When I crossed the finish line, I could barely walk. My legs were jelly. You know, the man had to catch me, and I was just telling him, you know, if I could just keep walking, I'll be fine. And so kind of kept walking, and then Dion came out and helped me to the medics tent. And so I laid there for a little while, and they hydrated me, tried to eat a couple of pieces of banana. And so one time I was drinking and eating almost at the same time, but I only had a couple pieces of banana before I started feeling kind of sick to my stomach. So I laid there for a little while. My body was covered in salt because I had sweated so much. It was very humid that day, and I had sweated so much that my body literally was covered in salt. Dion was telling me that it looked like my skin was peeling. It was that white. So anyway, y'all, after that, I still was so super tired. And Dion said, well, you want to see if you placed? And I said, no, I don't think I placed. But I knew I had finished in under 4 hours. So I was thankful for that. Because like I said, that sub 4 marathon, that's like bomb.com for runners. And anyway, I told Dion, I just want to go back to the house. I just want to bathe and I want to get out of here. So after we finished getting ready and everything, and we went to we were driving back to Tulsa. We were actually going to go get something to eat, and I said, well, let's look at the results. And so I looked at the results, and they were showing the top 5 people. And I said, oh, okay. I said, well, let me see, you know, what the lineup was. So I expanded the lineup, and it would only line up through 15. And I get to scrolling down, and y'all, who should I see? Number 7, Kanita Humphrey. So I immediately look at Dion, and I was like, oh my gosh, you were right. We should have stayed. I think I placed. So we immediately go back to the race area, which they're shutting stuff down by this time, because the race, it closed it at 1:30, but they still monitored everything because they want everybody to finish. So the streets kind of close at 1:30. I forget how they do it, but everything kind of shuts down at 1:30, and then they just wait until the last person comes, even if it's hours later. As we were walking to the area where we could look to see get the final results, we saw this lady carrying a plaque, and I asked her, "Oh, I say you placed?" And she said, "Yeah, I placed in my age division." And I said, "What was your age division?" She said 40 to 44. I said, "Oh my gosh." I said, "That's my age division." I said, "What did you place?" She said 3rd. So I said, "Well, what was your time?" She said 4 hours, 8 minutes. Dion and I looked at each other and we were like, you placed. Dion, did you initially thought I got first? I thought I got first.
I did too.
Yeah, I thought I got first. And then I said, well, no, you might not got first. So you better think, it could have been somebody in that top 7 that was 40 to 44 too. So it was either first or second. So I went in, and sure enough, I got in second place in this marathon in my age group division. Y'all, that just made me the happiest person. Every time I think about that, I smile. And one of the funny things Dion told me, he was like, because we've been talking about finish line photos and how, we need to start smiling. I need to start smiling when I cross the finish line. And so he said, Mama, I just want you to know your finish line photo is going to be ugly. And I said, what? He said, it's going to be ugly. Dion, show him, what face was I doing? Dion.
You're doing like a
So he said, yeah, so my finish line photo is going to be butt ugly, basically. So, but anyway, I don't even care. I was just so happy to be across that finish line. I said the Jinx finish line photo is going to be looking rough too as soon as they bring those out.
Why?
But because I was trying to pass that man in the red shorts. And so I was giving it all I had because I didn't want to, that was my last target. And I was like, I gotta either pass with him or pass him up. So, I was giving it all I had in me because I was tired of that. Well, I really was okay in that one. But that marathon, y'all, that's a booger. And I have one more marathon to do next weekend. Yeah. 2 marathons and 2 halves in 16 days. That's so I can qualify as a marathon maniac, which also qualifies me since I'm a half fanatic as a double agent. But I wanted to go into the double agent as a qualifying with one of the steps. And so I'll be like Mount Rainier or something like that because I've doing 2 halves and 2 marathons within 16 days of each other. So yeah, so it's kind of crazy, but it's pushing my body to the limits. And y'all, I'm just telling y'all, it's my therapy. It is truly my therapy. When I talk about running, it's like nothing else exists. Nothing else matters. And then when I feel that pain, when I get still, it brings me back to reality. Yeah. So, I don't know why I feel like I was getting emotional right there. Like I feel it in my gut. So anyway, that's about it. And I've been emotional anyway, I think. So. But anyway, y'all, that's it. I know. And y'all, I tell y'all just keep praying for me. And because I still deal with it. Still just battling in depression. But it's all good. It's all good. So, but anyway, because I know God is a mighty God and God delivers. And He heals everyone in His perfect timing. So, not going to get stressed out about that. I'm excited about getting to Fayetteville and going on my run and having Dion to support me, even though sometimes I don't think he might want to. But I'm like, Dion, come on, you my support. I appreciate you. And I try to make it fun for him, even though I get a little stressful. Don't I? Oh, that sun is in the way. I get a little stressful when I'm kind of getting going. I was like, yep. So, but anyway, girl, this video is like probably going to be 30 minutes. Anyway, I love y'all. Y'all keep praying for me. I'll keep praying for y'all. I'm going to continue making these update videos. Like I said, I've gone through and I've answered the majority of the comments. So I'm getting on that. I have, I went through, I answered the email from the young lady. And then I am going to, that sun is in the way. Yeah. I'm going to go through and make sure that I answer the other comments from the last video, and I'm just going to stay up on it. Make sure that you guys look at my From That to Finny blog that I'm making through WordPress, and I'll try to remember to put the link up. And then if you guys find it in your heart, I'm ending my campaign for raising money for the Community Food Bank of Eastern Oklahoma. I'm finishing up that campaign, and I'm gonna do it, see if I can do like this. Okay. And so far I have reached my initial goal, and I actually doubled that goal to see if I could raise double the amount. So you know, my goal was 370 because that was my original weight. So those of you who were able to donate to that, I certainly appreciate it. Hello VSG 2016 donated for me, and my friend Cindy, she did the same. And oh my gosh, who else? I'm trying to think of who else in my Instagram and YouTube network did. I think the majority of the others were from my they were from local, my sorority sisters, and several friends and people that I call my family. So I'm still looking for, like I said, $360 more to be donated. So I will include that link as well. And that campaign, I'm going to upload probably tonight. That campaign ends, I think it ends tomorrow, but I think you still will be able to donate up until the end of November, I believe. So, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it'll end no later than November 18th. So, and that's the day of my next marathon, because that's who I'm doing it through, is the marathon. That's who they said you could set it up with. You could pick which ones you wanted to donate for, or to campaign for, and that was the one I picked. So anyway, I love y'all. Peace out, babies. Mwah.